Welcome to Concord Community Music School. It's so wonderful to see you here. My name is Daniel Lachadi. I'm the executive director. And I think we all picked the perfect evening of the summer to actually be outside. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. It's been really wacky, and somehow it came together today. So I think the music gods willed this one for tonight. We're so delighted that you're here. I would like to first thank the Walker Lecture Series, who've been an amazing supporter of our school's concert series, and they're again sponsoring tonight's events. And And I'd like to highlight just a couple of events that we're going to be having in early fall. So if you can mark your calendars, and we also have brochures with the dates. On Saturday, September 9th at 10 a.m., we're going to have our beginning of the semester open house at the music school. So invite everybody to come and bring your friends, and it's a great way to learn about all of the musical and expressive therapy offerings that Concord Community School offers. We're going to have demo classes, petting zoo also for kids who might be thinking about starting instruments. So it's going to be a great time Saturday morning on September 9th. And then just afterwards, on September 14th, we're going to have our first Thursday lunchtime concert, which is going to be amazing. And this one's going to be in partnership with Avaloq Farm Music Institute. And we're going to be hosting New Hub Music, which is a quartet comprised of flute, clarinet, violin, and cello. And they're focused on playing new music, all sorts of wonderful new compositions, but they're geared towards community building and interacting and engaging with their audiences. So that's exactly kind of what the music school is about. So I think it's going to be a great match. So that's going to be Thursday at lunchtime at 12:15 on September 14th. And now, of course, to tonight's event. Tonight's group, the Acoustic Nomads, exemplify music's power to show us the world, but then also to bring it to us here. And they take us through Appalachia, jazz, and all the way down to South America, Brazil, Argentina, Venezuela, Peru. I'm sure I'm leaving out some countries there, but you're going to hear all of that amazing music. And we're really glad that they could join us here tonight. And apparently they have just released a new album, so we're kind of celebrating that as well tonight. So please join me in welcoming Acoustic Nomads.
thank you all so much for coming out. It means a great deal to see you all here on what is a surprisingly perfect day. We have not had that many of these yet this year. In fact, the last tour I was on, all throughout the Northeast, every single show was interrupted by a thunderstorm. 5 shows in 4 days, 6 storms. So
one of those.
we feel very, very, very lucky to be in such nice weather and to see all of your lovely faces. We are Acoustic Nomads. That was one of the first songs we ever played together. Rapsodioso, written by our very own Mauricio Fiore Salas over here playing the Venezuelan Quattro.
There it is. Those in the nosebleeds.
More on that instrument later. And over here we have the incredible Clara Rose playing fiddle for you, all the way from Vancouver. And Ethan Satiin from Goshen, Indiana, playing the mandolin. I'm wearing this amazing shirt, by the way. This is awesome. Next we have a song that I wrote, which is, as we like to call in this band, white guy South American music.
Fake South American music.
Well,
I believe it's the
you know,
term.
what can you do? This is a song I wrote about my class turtle. In first grade, we had a class turtle. We were assigned an assignment to write an essay about it, which in first grade is 1 sentence. And I couldn't do it because I didn't know enough about the turtle. You know, where do turtles come from? What do they care about? What do they think about? What is a turtle? So I got so overwhelmed that I ended up failing the assignment as much as you can in first grade because I couldn't begin to start even. So this song is called "The Turtle Problem," and for our last record, before the current record that we released, there's a lot of them. The Abominable Stringman Volume 2. When we went to record this, I wrote this song, and I was so scared of failing in writing a song that I didn't know how to start. And I was like, oh, this is just like the turtle problem. It's the turtle problem again. So if any of you have ever experienced that feeling of being so overwhelmed by the idea that you might not be quite ready for something, you don't even want to start, I hope this song will help get you over the finish line into the beginning.
There you go. Yeah.
Kick it.
Oh yeah. What I'm about to do is something that you should never tell students to do with their instruments. They're very expensive instruments. But I am going to imitate the sound of tambourine, which is basically a drum that you hit. Don't call it a tambourine, but they call it a tambourine, which is basically the same thing. Brazil has a lot of interesting percussion instruments, and some of them sound like this. Thank you. All right, how's it sounding out there? Great? Okay. Because the sun was very hot, so after a while I was just like, it is what it is. I'm gonna go back into the shadow, in the water. Those were a couple tunes that we played. Again, the Turtle Problem, that was a samba from Brazil. A very fast-paced, energetic, chaotic, scary samba. You kind of hold your breath for as long as the song goes and, see you at the end. Yeah, basically, that's how it works.
See you there.
And then we played Repeat Yourself, Noah Harrington's own tribute to Jethro Tull, as I like to call it. It's not that, according to him, but it sounds like a prog rock song to me. So that's what I like to believe it is. And then we played one of Ethan's tunes called 11 Times Around the Sun.
That's a prog tune.
Which is a total prog tune as well. But he doesn't know what title means. And I've asked him too many times. 11 many times.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. So I don't know anything. Anyway, moving on. So just wanted to say again that to Daniel and everybody here, we're very happy to be back. Noah and me came here last year.
Last April, yeah.
Last April we did one of these the Bach lunch things, and it was really great. A friend of mine, Eric Claxton, he was one of the faculty here. He kind of introduced me, and they thought it was a good idea for me to come and spew about Latin American music. And I think some people learned something. I don't know. Yeah, hang on. Is there anyone here that was here last year?
Yeah!
Oh my God! You get a free CD. You do. Don't talk to Noah. Talk to me. I'll hook you up. Anyway, yeah. So then it was. So we loved being here, and then when Daniel was like, "You want to come back?" We were like, "Of course."
Yeah.
So we're very happy that you are all here. ESL. Now we're gonna play one of my tunes. I need to switch instruments. That's good. It's called Onda Fortunata. It's in our first record.
Second.
No, it's in the second record. We have the Abominable String Band Volume 1, and if you didn't have enough, we have the Abominable String Band Volume 2. We decided to stop there because it was too much, which are both for sale over there on the green table. But we also have this on our new album that Daniel was mentioning. We released what do you call it, a visual album?
Yeah, there's a visual component.
It's a visual album because it has a visual component,
Yeah.
which is videos, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a video album, it's a visual album.
Well, I had a long debate with myself at about 3 a.m. when I was uploading all of them, and I decided visual sounded classier. So if you have feedback, come talk to us at the merch table after the set.
Would you rather be visual or video?
We take all kinds of input. It's just 6 songs that we recorded together, very live, just all in one take, at Fallen Church, which is this great Unitarian Universalist space in the sanctuary, which is just so acoustically beautiful. It's a big, I think a hexagon, maybe an octagon. I'm not very good at counting, despite being musicians. Yeah, one of the gongs. Gone with the Wind, I guess. So that whole album is actually up for free just on our YouTube channel. You can go basically watch like a 30-minute concert with really good camera angles and lighting, and we all look very cute. It's very fun. And that album's also for sale on our Bandcamp. We don't have physical copies with us, but we do have copies of our other records. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. This song is going to feature Mauricio playing the quattro. This is a rhythm called Onda Nueva, which is sort of a more contemporary, less traditional style of music from Venezuela that is very similar to Brazilian samba. The way you said it to me is this is sort of like Venezuela's answer to the samba.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah? What if we put like a whole nother beat in there?
Less beat. Well, even...
It depends on if you're counting it as 4 or 2. It's in 3.
It's true. More so one guy's response to samba.
So just to show you that time signature is not what makes a song, we're going to play another song in 3/4. This one's called Jacqueline, and it's a valse, which is waltz with different letters.
The song is called Jacqueline, and it was written by a Venezuelan composer called Henry Martinez, and it was recorded by a very sort of emblematic ensemble that very humbly called themselves the Venezuelan Roots Ensemble. That's what they are. Yeah, they're like the Bluegrass Album Band, but our version. Anyway, he wrote this song for someone called Jacqueline. I don't know who she is, but the song is very nice. How about it for Ethan Satil on the mandolin and Clara Rose on the fiddle? So, I don't remember when I stopped saying things. Oh yeah, so the Jacqueline, the waltz, very pretty, right? So it's, the cool thing about this band is that we're not afraid of doing things on very short notice.
It's true.
We, you know,
We do them anyway.
I picked, like Ethan and I Ethan and I kind of recorded a duo album that might exist or not one day. Because it was, you know, under the influence in an island. One of those things is not true. But anyway.
The influence of music.
So I showed Ethan that tune and he loved it, and then he told me we should do it with the band. And, you know, the band only met today to drive here. So that arrangement happened right now. And that's the beautiful thing about a band like this. We're just, you know, we trust y'all enough that even if it sounds bad, you'll forgive us. You won't walk away. You know, as long as you stay, we won't feel too bad. If you leave, then it's all over. But anyway, then we played. What do we play afterwards? No, that's gonna come right now. Oh yeah, and then we did another one of my tunes called Onomadi, which means the nomad. I wrote that before we were called the Acoustic Nomads. Just FYI, I hold the copyright on the name. But and that's a tune also inspired by Brazilian music, but a different part of Brazil. So the part of Brazil that we know more is bossa nova and samba, and that comes from Rio. And I mean, it spreads all over, but it's a very sort of middle, north to the middle, and south kind of music, but a very coastline music and very beach music. And some of you remember Carmen Miranda. That was like the big figure in the U.S. of samba culture, or what they call cariocas. But Brazil is a very, very big country, and I really enjoy the music that they make in what they call the north, or the northeast, because to the northwest is the Amazon, and that's no man's land. You know, nobody knows what's going on there. So the northeast is places like Bahia and Recife and Minas Gerais, and they talk about something called forró, F-O-R-R-O.
But it sounds kind of like a G.
And I have asked a lot of Brazilian musicians what forró is, and they all give me a different answer. This is one of those words that just means whatever they want in that moment. So a friend told me that this song is a forró. I call it a bayao, and bayao is a kind of forró. So bayao is a forró, but a forró is not necessarily a bayao. It could be something else. Depends how drunk you are that day. And what I like is that the vibe is different. You know, samba's a lot of like very fast and very energetic, and this is more grounded, more like. And there's more dirt in it, and that's what I like. You know, get you all dirty with us. Anyway, now we're gonna play a song called "Woolly Bugger," which is a fishing thing. It's a flying fish lure.
Fly fishing.
Fly fishing. When Ethan is not being a responsible musician, he risks his life by jumping from airplanes and fishing, which is what fly fishing is, right? It's like a skydiving kind of thing, right?
You dive in, you grab.
You dive in the fish, and then the chopper flies again, and you grab onto, and then it's like a Navy SEAL kind of thing, right?
It's like a big bungee cord. Actually.
It's a big bungee cord underwater. Exactly. His wife loves it.
Should we play the tune?
Hey, it's my show. It's my show. I gotta make it worth their money. Hey.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. That sure is a woolly bugger.
Of a song.
All of Ethan's tunes are so challenging that all of them actually does feel a little bit like jumping out of an airplane to catch a fish. It's like, wow, if we get this, it'll be cool. Spectacular even. And I think we did. I think we got it. How many of you know anything about Peruvian music? Show of hands. Hey, we got one. I know you, Mike. I knew you knew that. Peru is separated sort of into 3 geographic regions. So there's the coast, which is a lot like the coast of California. It's very arid because it's on the west coast of South America. Quick geography lesson. So it's very similar to like that sort of like South California, Mid-California Bay Area climate. Very dry, a lot of succulents, and not just in people's windows, like out on the ground. And that is where a lot of people who were brought there in bondage, like enslaved people, still live to this day, is on the coast of Peru. And they've intermingled with a lot of indigenous people who have come down from the mountains and who already live there, and a lot of the European people who settled there, creating this really, really vibrant, amazing culture. But one of the legacies of Afro-Peruvian culture is all of this really amazing music based around a percussion instrument called the cajon, which is big box, because it's a big box. They weren't allowed to have drums for a long time because they didn't want the black people to use the drums to communicate or express their culture. So they made do with, there's all these Afro-Peruvian instruments that are like the little box. It's like the money lender's box, but then you hide like a stick in it and you can play it like a drum. Or, you know, if someone comes by to try to bust up the jam, everyone's just sitting on boxes and they're like, oh no, we're just hanging out. Well, you said you heard something? Oh, don't worry about it. It's nothing. But we don't have a cajon here today.
Thank God.
So we're gonna make do. This is a kind of music called landau, and it's used to tell a lot of the stories of suffering from the time of enslavement and from afterwards in Peru. It's a country that struggled with endemic racism, just as so many countries that have a history of enslavement still do to this day. And when I initially wrote this landau, which is the specific style or rhythm used in this piece, I wrote a draft and brought it to Mauricio, and he like sent me a massive essay on why he didn't like the piece that I'd written. So this is Landau 2, the second draft. I think it went a lot better. And he basically, the thrust of your critique, I think, was like, this sounds like every other Landau that was written. And I was like, nice, I nailed it. And then I read the rest of the essay, and he was like, and that's why that's bad. And I was like, oh, that's a good point. All those other people have already written their own Landau's. I have to write one here. And I wrote one that I tried to incorporate a lot of the harmonic language that Charles Mingus, who's a really, really prolific African-American jazz composer in the United States, used. He uses all this really intense harmonic language. It's very dark and very brooding. And I, as a teenager, gravitated a lot towards that because I had a lot of angst. And Landau also has a lot of angst, or angst? Hard to know. So this has a lot of angst and a lot of angst. And you put them together and you get Landau 2. And this is actually, you can actually purchase this on Bandcamp. This is on the new Quartet album.
Visual album.
Visual album, thank you.
Good.
Give it up for Ethan Satillan, absolutely shredding on that. The king of angst.
The angst.
So angsty.
The angsty king. All right. Yeah. Yes, I was gonna say something and I forgot. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. It's just yeah. So once again, thank you all for being here. You know, what we like to do in this band is just kind of show the different versions of what we like to call the crossroads of American music. You know, I'm from Latin America. They are not.
It's true.
But there's a lot of things in common in our music that even, you know, the way that I was taught wasn't that. You know, it's like, well, there's us and them, and, you know, that we were conquered, and then things happened, and new musical styles and stuff, but, like, then they don't intertwine. The things in common are just, oh, you know, who knows? Those marvelous things about the world. But in fact, it's because, you know, we all come from the same roots in the end. The human species shares, you know, common genealogy and genetic memory and all these things. And like, when we all come from the same places and we come from the same sort of melting pots of combinations of people, certain patterns always stick. So something like Landau, which you might have never heard and has all these musical elements that maybe you confused, if you take the time and listen to it, you will find things in common with other things that you already enjoy, and if you're a musician, even more. Because then you're like, so one day it just clicks, and it's like Neo in the Matrix when he goes like, oh, I know Kung Fu. It's like, oh yeah, this is just like that. You know, this is like, oh yeah, this is like a weird old-time thing, but it's sadder and darker. But, you know, I can do this kind of thing to it. And sort of that's the trail that we'd like to follow in our music. And with that in mind, we also like to do things like honor certain composers that maybe we believe were sort of undeserving, is that it? They weren't recognized when they were around. Under-recognized, yeah. And there's this medley of tunes that we did in our first record, which we called Otilio, dedicated to a composer called Otilio Galíndez, who was from Venezuela. And he wrote a lot of music that was very interesting and unique, and he just, I don't know, he kind of, nobody really wanted to give him the credit that he deserved because he was kind of weird. And the songs were different. They weren't the usual, I love you because you're beautiful kind of songs. I'm gonna actually sing these songs, trying out an experiment with our audience to see if they enjoy the songs even more when they hear the words. And that just reminded me, I have the lyrics back there, but I didn't bring them out. I'll give them to you later. But he says, this song says, if one day you don't love me anymore, just leave. Leave in silence. And that's it. That's what the song says. You know, words more, words less, and there's a river and a flower and all that kind of stuff. But like, it's a different kind of love song. You know, it's not just don't leave me or let's work it out or like, you know, shame on you for leaving. It's just like, all right, if you need to do what you gotta do, just like, do it. And I think there's a beauty to that. You know, it's just, yeah, we're different people and we live our lives, and that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Oh, you got them? No, but it's gonna take too long. Oh, well, yeah. Aha, there you go. Just love the gentleman. He's gonna distribute lyrics, and it's gonna enter him in a raffle to win a Honda Civic. Brand new, 2005. 300,000 miles.
What are the names of the two songs?
Yeah, so the songs are called En Silencio and Candelaria, and there's actually a song there that we didn't do, the set, but it's in our albums. But yeah, I'll explain it to you later. Come meet me later and I'll give you the whole gist.
We'll talk in the first table.
But yeah, En Silencio and Candelaria. And Candelaria means street light or candle light. But I like to think that he dedicated it to a street light because he was homeless for a big part of his life. And so let's see how this is going to shape up. Good sound for myself. Tuning. Anyway. Nada más te pido si el adiós llegara. Nada más te pido cuando ya no sientas la pasión de un beso. No decir palabras y si pierdes llanto lo hagas en silencio. Y en silencio partas, imitando al río que bañó tu cuerpo y jamás retorna a besar tu piel. Y como el aroma de la flor primera que nos trajo el viento, y así el viento fue. No me mires, Candelaria, que la cara se me pone cual purpúrea granadina, toda llena de rubor. No me mires, que mirando se despiertan los amores y aceleran el latir de mi corazón, de mi corazón. No me mires, que tus ojos tienen fuego para mí, porque abrazan de amor Candelaria y tornan mi cara color de rubí. No me mires, que tus ojos tienen fuego para mí, porque abrazan de amor Candelaria y tornan mi cara color de rubí.
We're going back to Brazil. This is one by Pixinguinha, which is one of my favorite names ever and one of my favorite composers ever. He's a great Brazilian composer. Look him up. It's Pix. And that should get you there, because I actually don't know exactly what order the rest of the letters are in. This is Achero.
Yeah. This is a Brazilian choro, and it's a very fun piece. And again, we're just playing it for one of the first times today. So bear with us, but it's very fun and very challenging and scary. In fact, I don't even know it yet. Anyway, and before we played something called Jota de los Dos Corazones, of the Two Hearts. It's one of those albums too. I don't remember which one. 2. On number 2.
Once again for Clara Rose on the fiddle. Ethan Cecile on the mandolin.
Have you said that it's your debut as well? Yeah, we said it.
What?
Have you said it?
Say what?
That's it. Debut?
Oh yeah. So
Okay, that's it.
this is Clara Rose's triumphant return to the band. She was on our first release, Acoustic Travelogue, available over there, back in 2019, which was recorded at the last minute in a living room after we all met. It's crazy.
One of the
Crazy
mics was
energy on the
broken.
recording. Yeah, one of the mics was broken, but it's great. Just like a great. It's the first time we all met together and played together, and it's been this fun ever since. But then Clara moved away, and then she moved back.
Now she's here.
This is going to be our last song. This is Maurizio is going to say a little bit more about this, but I wanted to say a quick invitation to all of you. In Jewish music, which we Do not have any of in the set. There is a thing called nigun. Has anyone here heard of the concept of nigun? There's one person. I know you have. It's Mike again, everyone. Nigun is a wordless melody. It's a central thing in Jewish spiritual music. It's the idea that everyone joining their voices and lifting their voices together gets us all closer to the Most High, or whatever you want to call it, you know, the look in your partner's eyes when you see them after a hard day, like the sight of the sun rising, everything beautiful in life. And this song is not a traditional Jewish song. Maurizio will tell you a little bit more about it in a second, but there is a section in which we're going to ask you all to sing along with us. And you'll know it when it comes. But I do want to say it's been such an absolute privilege to be here with all of you tonight. I really, really mean it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. Thanks to Concord Community Music School for having us. Thanks to Daniel for putting stuff together. He's the man. Thanks to Concord TV for being here with that fancy camera and recording us. And he promised he would make me look skinnier if I tipped him, which I didn't. So we'll see what happens. Anyway. This song that we're going to do to close out the show, we started doing this recently in our shows and people seem to really dig it. It kind of puts a breath in everybody's breath, I guess.
Happenstep, what?
Exactly that, the whatever. This song is called Paseo, which means a stroll. It's in that little word packet that the winner of the Honda Civic was dispersing around. I may or may not have that card. But this song was written by an Argentinian composer called Juan Quintero. He's one of my favorite composers nowadays. He just writes these really, really beautiful melodies, thoughtful lyrics, and he's kind of like that guy of the "if you leave, just do it." He's down to the point. You know, his lyrics are not super flowery, which I like when people tell me what they want. And this song just talks about, I think it talks about a man, he's getting ready to journey somewhere, and he doesn't know if he's going to come back. He doesn't know what he's going to see. He doesn't know what's going to happen to him. And he's just kind of reconciling with that reality and just accepting what he is and what he isn't and what he can do and what he can't. And I just love this song. It's so beautiful. And going with the experiment of the lyrics, I'm going to try to sing it. He has a very different voice than me, so let's see how this goes. But again, please, at the end, when we're going, we're making wordless sounds, please make them with us. Otherwise, we feel just dumb. Anyway. I'm trying to do something. Okay. Salgo a pasear, ya me he de ir con mi cantar. Al universo pido permiso, y si molesto pido perdón. Pido salud, pido alimento, pido canción. Salgo a pasear, ya me he de ir de este lugar. Para la noche sigo la luna, durante el día la luz del sol. Y a cada hora brilla tu risa, puro calor. Salgo a pasear, ya me he de ir de este lugar. A los amigos digo ya vuelvo, y al horizonte digo ya voy. Y a tu cariño lo llevo, quieras o no. Caminos del azar, les pido por favor que ayuden a viajar. Lo pido por amor, cojo carrera y busco coraje. Tarde o temprano me he de encontrar en los abrazos o en los paisajes. Todo es mi casa, siempre hay lugar, salgo a pasear. pido por favor me ayuden a viajar. Lo pido por amor, cojo carrera y busco coraje. Tarde o temprano lo he de encontrar en los abrazos o en los paisajes. Todo en mi casa siempre hay lugar. Salgo a pasar, dame de este lugar. Sería lindo verte algún día y preguntarte cómo andas vos y que juntitos bailemos esta canción. Ay, 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 Thank you all so much for the Acoustic Nomads, Clara Rose, Ethan Sitiwan, Noah Harrington. My name is Mauricio Fierdesalas. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I'm trying to get back there. You want one of these?